Welcome to Rank Wrestlers, which uses an objective algorithm to rank every varsity wrestler in the country whose team keeps track of their results in track wrestling, which is most of the teams in the country. The ranking methodology was developed, tested, and refined over a number of years in multiple states using statistical tools to come up with the most accurate rankings possible. Of course, there's no way to predict anything perfectly, which is why the sport's so exciting. It seems like every year there's some huge surprises that no one anticipated at the state tournaments. However, state tournaments do provide a nice venue for testing the effectiveness of the ranking methodology, and our algorithm correctly predicted over 80% of the match results in all the state tournaments last season, which is a pretty big deal since the matches are often between evenly matched wrestlers at that level, where the results could conceivably go either way. This tutorial is designed to give you a brief overview of the Rank Wrestlers website. After you sign in, you can click the home button to get to the main page for your state, which you set up when you created your account originally. You can see the ranking for other states as well by clicking on the Change State button and choosing a state on the map. This can be helpful for wrestlers who are competing with opponents from other states at a tournament or even at a national freestyle tournament in the off season. On the state's home page, you can see all the options available to you, which are also available to you at any time by just clicking on the tabs along the top of the page. The class ranking option allows you to see all the wrestlers that are ranked at each weight class. You can choose all classes or a specific class. The all classes will give you the pound for pound rankings. After you choose the weight and click the search button, you'll see the results. Anytime you see something with a color and an underline, then you could click on that to get more detail. We'll click on some of these links in a minute, but first let me explain some of the terms on this table. Most of the columns are obvious, but I'll focus on the 4 columns on the far right, which are the crux of the ranking system. The adjusted percentage column takes the wrestler's raw record and makes adjustments according to the quality of the opponents and the type of wins or losses, and calculates an adjusted winning percentage. Basically, the better the opponent, the more a win helps and the less the loss hurts. And conversely, a win over a poor opponent doesn't help the adjusted percentage much, but a loss to a weaker opponent does hurt the wrestler's adjusted percentage significantly. Forfeits and buys are included in the wrestler's winning percentage since they're part of the official record, but they don't affect the adjusted percentage, which is the basis of the rankings. The 3 best wins column is the average adjusted percentage of the 3 best opponents that a wrestler defeated. This calculation does include multiple wins against the same opponent if those would be among the 3 best wins. A wrestler's 3 best wins are carried forward from the previous year as well, which make the ranking more accurate in the early part of the season and for wrestlers who may not have wrestled as many matches in the current season due to injuries or some other reason. And since they've proven their ability to defeat wrestlers of this quality in the previous season, they're assigned that percentage for this year 3 best wins until they exceed that level with the current season's results. This obviously negatively impacts first-year varsity wrestlers, but as the season goes along, they'll have opportunities to increase their score, especially if they wrestle in tournaments where they get more opportunity to wrestle higher ranked opponents along the way. The head-to-head column reflects adjustments when a lower ranked wrestler defeats a higher ranked wrestler. When this happens, each wrestler's ranking is adjusted to meet in the middle, with the lower ranked wrestler ending up slightly ahead of the previously higher ranked wrestler in the new rankings. The head-to-head adjustments are made across classes but not weights. As the season goes along, these adjustments can be a little confusing since there could be multiple head-to-head adjustments for the same wrestler. So for example, a wrestler may have beaten a higher ranked opponent and receive a positive head-to-head adjustment, but then also lose to a lower ranked opponent and receive a negative adjustment. This column will show the net figure after all the adjustments are made. Head-to-head adjustments between wrestlers are based on the full season, so if a wrestler loses to a lower ranked opponent and gets a negative adjustment, but then later defeats the same opponent, the head-to-head adjustment is no longer triggered since the wrestlers are even for the season. The total score on the far right is the average of the adjusted percentage and the 3 best wins with the head-to-head adjustment added or subtracted from that total. You can see the detail for any particular wrestler by clicking on the wrestler's name or using the search box on the left-hand side of any screen to find that wrestler. All wins are highlighted in green, and red shows the losses so you can quickly digest the detailed results. Many states will also list the wrestler's place at the previous year's state tournament if they were a state placer. And you can click on the weight or the rank numbers to see a detailed list of all the other wrestlers ranked in that particular weight and class. The raw match information is gathered from trackwrestling.com multiple times a day. If you see results that are incorrect, missing, or duplicated, please just contact your coach and have him correct the official record on Track Wrestling, and then we'll pick up the corrected information on our next update. Only coaches are able to make changes to the Track Wrestling system, so we can't make those changes for you. The team ranking tabs allows you to see how each team ranks by class. It's important to note that team rankings are based on the individual tournament style scoring, not the dual scoring. So a team may beat another team in a dual meet and not be ranked as high in the same team in these rankings. That usually happens when one team has better depth, which helps in the dual meet, but the other team has a few wrestlers with greater individual rankings, which greatly impact the team score and the individual tournament scoring. Each team is assigned points for all wrestlers that are ranked in the top 8 of their class, with the higher ranked wrestlers obviously receiving more points. The total points for the team is listed here, along with the number of wrestlers ranked in each of the top 8 slots. You can also click on the team name to see the full roster with each individual's ranking over on the right. You can also find a roster for a team by clicking the Rosters tab at any time across the top and then selecting the team name. Grade rankings show the ranking for each of the wrestlers in the state for a particular grade, regardless of their weight or class. These can be interesting to see who some of the best wrestlers are in the state. You can also click the All-American tab along the top to see who some of the best wrestlers in the nation. A wrestler achieves a ranked wrestler's All-American status when they reach a total score of at least 99%, which is very difficult to accomplish. The All-American listing is ordered by state and school to make it a little easier to identify specific wrestlers. And then the top 5 tab allows you to quickly see the best wrestlers at each weight for a particular class. These rankings are updated multiple times a day, so it can be a convenient way for you to quickly see what changes were made in the most recent update to the highest ranked wrestlers, at least in the state. If you have any questions, you can please contact us for clarification. You can email us by selecting the Contact Us tab at the bottom of every page and clicking on the Send Email link. Thanks again for your interest in ranked wrestlers. Hopefully this tutorial will give you a nice overview of the type of information you'll be able to see on our website. Many coaches and wrestlers find this to be a helpful resource for scouting opponents and keeping track of what other wrestlers are doing around the state and the country. It certainly makes matches a lot more interesting for fans, since they're able to quickly see the quality of the wrestlers and the matches they're watching. Having fun exploring the site. The more you use it, the better you'll get, and the easier it is to figure out what you're looking at and enjoy the wrestling season.